Really excited today. We're going to be talking about Moltbot or CloudBot, if you've heard about that. And we're also going to be talking about a really awesome tool built by Merritt Systems called x402 Scan MCP, which is a new kind of tool that we'll kind of dive into. And yeah, just catch up about x402 and in general, just kind of connect with you guys. So we're live on X, and we're also live on YouTube. Please, if you're not already following us, give us a follow. If you're watching this and you like the content, please like retweet it or share it with your network. And we'd love to see you here commonly every week. We're going to be having a live stream every Friday called the Signal Podcast that we do from 10 a.m. Pacific to about 11 p.m. or 11 a.m. And then we also occasionally go live. So make sure that you have notifications enabled so that you know when we're going to be going live. So thanks so much for joining. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to go ahead and bring on Shafu from Merritt Systems. Thank you so much for joining us. Really excited to see you. How are you doing? Maybe you can like introduce yourself and tell people a little bit about what you're working on. And then we can kind of dive into some stuff.
Yeah, GM, Kevin, thanks for having me. Yeah, Shafu, I work on Merritt Systems. We do a lot of different things. Our main focus right now is on x402. So we've built x402 Scan, which is like DeFi Llama or Etherscan for the x402 ecosystem. So you can see all the x402 transactions, all the x402 resources, all the facilitators. You can play around with the resources on x402 Scan. But we also have a composer on x402 Scan, which is basically like an agentic tool where you can call x402 resources. And what we've been up to recently is something we call x402 Scan MCP, which basically gives Claude Code a wallet. Why is that exciting? Claude Code obviously is great, but it doesn't have access to paid stuff on the internet. And through x402 and the x402 Scan MCP, we basically give Claude Code access to the paid internet. So it gives you access to paid APIs, LinkedIn, Grok, Apollo, all that kind of stuff, which makes it very, very powerful. So that's a brief introduction.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. I mean, one of the things that we're seeing as a narrative, right? Obviously, like recently we saw CloudBot or now Moltbot kind of grow this, like giving more power to the AI agent, I think is like the narrative that we're going to see this year, because like AI has been very like isolated. And so like we're trying to give more power to like spending with x402. We're trying to give more power with like, access to systems, making the AIs more autonomous and self, I guess, controlled in a way, but with guardrails. And so there's a lot of cool stuff that I think is going to come out of that. What are your thoughts about, I'm just curious about Moltbot or CloudBot. I'm sure you've seen like the crazy stuff that people are posting on X, and like even me, like I've been messing around with it, and I like got it to like do some trading for me. I have it building like meme tokens, and yeah, it's pretty cool. Like it's just like I'm just chatting with this bot over Telegram, and I'm just curious what your thoughts are on where that is going. Is it like too much? Like is Moltbot and like CloudBot too much, or like what do you think?
Yeah, as you said, obviously everyone is talking about it right now. Some guys in the office are playing around with it. I know you did too. I haven't installed it yet. I just didn't want to give it access to my machine. But I know you set it up in like a virtual thing, or you actually have like some dedicated hardware for it, which makes a lot of sense. I think it's interesting. I think it's very interesting. I think it might be the future of like operating systems. I think Karpathy tweeted about this like a year ago or something, or like maybe 2 years ago at this point. But it's basically, how do you rebuild operating system for AIs? Or how does an agentic operating system work that is like native to the thing? And obviously it's kind of, I don't want to call it primitive, but it's still very early. But it's very interesting. Maybe you can, yeah. What did you use it for? And yeah.
Yeah, so I set it up and then, it was pretty seamless to set up. You just basically give it the API keys it needs. So I just generated its own API keys for everything. I created an email address for it. I created GitHub, X, like everything that it needed. And then I just kind of set it in this, like, I had actually a brand new machine that had just been sitting there, but I hadn't been using it. So I was like, oh, this is perfect. And I just had it, yeah, I had it writing software. I had it like, I had to generate a private key and like encrypt the private key on its local disk, and I funded it. I had it write like a bot to like with like 3 different algorithms to trade meme coins, and this is all just by Telegram, like just telling it over Telegram. It's like I'm not even using like Cursor or Claude anymore. I'm just like chatting with this thing. And it was just such a and another thing, I was sitting here with my kids. My kids are really into Minecraft, and I was like, "Hey, like generate an image of you in like Minecraft world," and like he's like, "Yeah, no problem." And so his name is SpongeBob SquarePants, so like SpongeBob SquarePants, but SpongeBob SquarePants, and so he put himself as SpongeBob inside of like a Minecraft world, and then after that, I was like, "Hey, post another tweet about what you're up to," and he generated a picture of him with like a chart of like the red going up and down, and like he's like trading meme tokens, and he's still Minecrafty. Like it was just unreal. Like it just has its own like brain. So I think it's more like fun. It makes like kind of this AI interaction a little more fun is what I've kind of, it actually feels like you're chatting with like someone that is a little more reactive than just like, hey, this is your code and this is what's wrong, I'm fixing it. So quite interesting, like just different angle on it.
So what can it do exactly? It has like access to email, Discord, all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, so it can do like it can create virtual environments. It can access like it can do some stuff with the browser, but you have to like give it like if you want it to post to X, you need to give it like the browser cookies. Like you have to authenticate and give it the browser cookies, and that way it can like do that. But that's just I think a limitation of X, like the authentication. And yeah, it can generate software. It can publish to Git. It has everything available on command line. So if you install the GitLab CLI, it can like push and commit. Yeah, it's got a lot of stuff, but. Anyways, we don't have to like talk about that for too long. I also want to get more into like, I just think it's funny, and like I wanted to get your take on it because I know you're pretty active in the space. So
Yeah.
but maybe we could dive into like, yeah, like why you guys built x402 Scan MCP,
Yes.
and why you like, and what, maybe you could do a demo too if you're up for it.
Yes.
That would be really cool. And because it sounds awesome. It sounds like a really cool tool. And obviously you guys build good stuff, like x402 Scan is really useful. So yeah, maybe I'll just give it over to you and you can kind of dive a little bit more into that.
Yeah, I would love to do a demo as well. But yeah, high level picture is Claude Code is great, or Claude is great, but it doesn't have access to the paid internet. And our idea was, let's use x402 to basically change that. And we gave Claude Code a wallet, and we gave Claude Code access to x402 paid endpoints. And it turned out to be pretty magical. So let me share where's my terminal? Let me share my screen. Okay, can you see this?
Let's make sure. Yep, perfect. Yeah, it looks really good.
Awesome.
Maybe make it a little bigger. Yeah, text would be good.
So maybe just high level, how do you install this thing? It's very, very simple. You just take this command, you put it in, and it basically walks you through like 5 steps to install this, and that's it. The only thing that it's kind of annoying is you have to on-ramp USDC. So there's a wallet address and you have to send their USDC somehow. You can do it through Coinbase, or, I guess most of the people watching this are like crypto people, just send some over from your MetaMask or something. But once you have some funds in here, you can start Claude like you always do. And maybe the first thing we can do is, hey, what is my wallet balance, right? Just to get a feel for this. And this is going to look up our public key, and it's like, hey, your USDC balance is 21 bucks. Okay, very cool. Not super exciting, but we have a wallet now. So what we can do is, let's actually play around with the x402 resources we have. So we have access to Apollo, which gives us a lot of data about companies. We have access to LinkedIn data. We have access to Twitter and some other APIs. So let's say, get me the best smart contract auditing companies and their key decision makers. For each decision maker, get me their email and LinkedIn. Create the initial list as a CSV sequentially, and then enrich each company with the x402 tools in parallel. Save the end result as enriched.csv. So are you familiar with Venice AI?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was an early user of Venice. Yeah, very cool.
Sick. So I wrote the smart contracts from Venice. So let's say I want to get an audit for the Venice contracts, rate each company according to how suitable they are to audit. To audit them from 1 to 10, spend at least $2. Think hard. Okay, let's run this. So this is gonna look up all the available tools that it has. And let's say yes, you don't need to ask me. So it's gonna discover all the MCP endpoints that are behind enrich x402. So if we go to enrichx402.com, you can see which APIs you have, people enrichment, web search, web scraping, social media, all that kind of stuff. So it's going to discover those, and it's going to start up building a list of smart contract auditing companies using the enrich tools. Found the first top auditing firms. I have 21 bucks. Let me create the initial list and enriching company in parallel. First, let me search.
So you have the MCP configured inside Claude Code, and that's just I'm not too familiar with that particular MCP, but it's just like a list of paid endpoints essentially. Yeah.
Correct. It's like a check balance endpoint. It's called x402 resource endpoint. And that's how it's calling those. So currently, as you can see, it's using Apollo org search to look up Zelic, chain security. And this is also fun to look at price. Like this is true micropayments right here. It's like 2 cents. I'm paying 2 cents to get this API. Looking up Sherlock, looking up Zelic. So what we found where this is really powerful, and I think this is like the first big use case, like for salespeople, it's like, hey, I'm building this. So we had one person that was building something for elderly care, where it's like they look at elderly people and like do action detection if they fall or something. So they used our thing to basically look at, hey, give me all the elderly care facilities in SF and give me all the key decision makers for like an outbound or email or something for like cold outbound email. It's also quite good for like marketing. You know, find I don't know, find the top 100 interesting people in Williamsburg that are software engineers between the age of 25 and 27, and get me their LinkedIn or something like that.
Wow, that's awesome. So this endpoint that it's calling, I noticed that some of the queries are like a cent, some are like 5 cents. Is it querying multiple APIs? Like it's multiple data endpoints?
Yeah, so it's using Apollo, it's using Cloudor, it's using Grok, it's using LinkedIn, and every one of those has different prices.
Wow,
Yeah, so
that's
this is
amazing.
how it is going down.
Very, very cool. So this is going to run, and it's generating a report now, basically.
Yes, exactly. So this is what it
Like
found so far. This is what it found so far. I found Sherlock, Trail of Bits, OpenZeppelin, Certec, specialization, notable client website, and it's gonna iterate on this. So it's gonna take every one of this and every one of these, and it's gonna enrich them, which basically means gonna look up key decision makers, which we asked for to get their LinkedIn and stuff like that.
Wow, this is cool. This is really neat.
Yeah, so let's see how this CSV is going to look in the end. It's gonna run for a bit. So mostly, most of the time it takes like 8 to 12 minutes. Depends on what you want. Normally, I tell it, hey, if you find like 15, just stop. This sometimes helps. What we're currently really working hard at is like, how do we automatically do the prompt engineering in the background? Because the end result depends heavily on your initial prompt right now. This is something we're going to change though through context engineering and all that kind of stuff. But right now, like I spent the last 3 days, like I dreamt of like MCP tool calling yesterday night from like, looking at this for too long. I've been looking at this for the last 3 days, haven't done anything else.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
you know you're a good engineer, passionate about the tech when you like dream about it, and then you're like, oh, in the morning you like write some code. You know, I can say that I've done that before, and that's a cool feeling. It's a cool feeling when you dream about something, and then the next morning you implement it. So
very true. So I think it's done. So it spent 250. And let's see what it found in the end. So it
$2.50.
Yes. So it created this.
That's super affordable to get the data you need, you know? It's really useful.
So it found, let's look at these names. Sherlock, Jack, I think that's right. It found Patrick Collins, that's definitely right. It found, let's see if the LinkedIn is correct. It is.
Yep, that's him.
LinkedIn is correct.
I know that
guy. I do too. Good guy. It also did the Venice rating. So how good would that fit be for like auditing Venice? And okay, so this, for example, is a 10 here. OpenZeppelin, gold standard for zero smart contract security. It's kind of true. What's also interesting would be to say, hey, I only have like 30K to spend. Rate them accordingly, and you would lose a lot of firms on that list, because Trail of Bits, for example, they don't do an audit for 30K. But yeah, this would be like your initial data set. You can take this and iterate on it, get more stuff. But this is like high level how it works.
This is awesome. Yeah, this is really cool. It's a really good. So I kind of wonder, like, one of the things I'm sure you probably have been following Edge and Node a little bit, but we have ampersand, which is like the kind of like control layer for AI agents wallets. And so what are your thoughts there? Because what we're trying to do is basically have this kind of like treasurer pattern where you basically can like give an AI agent, a wallet, give them some kind of guardrails, maybe like a per transaction limit, daily limit, monthly limit, stuff like that, and then also maybe able to do reporting and stuff. It sounds like that would really align well with this kind of solution, where like people are just going to have, stuff they need to do, inside of their editor, or inside their development environment or whatever it is, and almost like a control layer for the agents on behalf of the employee or the user. So what do you think about that? Is that something that is of concern, like keeping,
Yes.
this thing from going off the rails and just spending but I don't know if you saw that thing. There was like a $47,000 like loss because some AI agent like went off the rails and like was in an endless loop. And this was like a Web 2 thing, but still like it was like, doing some kind of bad stuff. So what are your thoughts there?
No, it's a very, very good question. So what we found actually with this is Cloud Code is quite frugal. So it doesn't like to spend money at all. This is why I think I put it in the prompt actually, spend at least $2. This is why I put that in. Because most of the time it spends like 80 cents and it doesn't want to spend more money. Really interesting. Yeah, really, really
Wow.
interesting. Also, it's quite hard for it to spend a lot of money just because the APIs are like, they're micropayments. I think the costliest one is like White Pages, which you can use to look up like homeowners in the US or something. And this one costs like 50 cents. So it would have to run for quite a bit. Obviously, you can also do stuff like that. It's Claude, So it took the CSV, created a simple front end for this. It took like 2 minutes. But yeah, it doesn't like to spend money. Currently, how we do key management is you have a private key on disk. We're working on changing that. I actually would love to look into %, in detail. Maybe something we could use. What we're looking for is basically like an OAuth solution, right? So you sign in with Google or something. You set a spend limit per session, something like that. It's definitely on the roadmap. The next thing we want to do is it's like, because storing private keys on disk is not great.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's coming in V2 for sure.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, this is really awesome. And what else? X402. How about X402 Scan itself? What's on the roadmap there? Because I know you guys are kind of like the de facto spot for for X402 metrics. Is there anything that you guys are focused on in that realm?
Yeah, so I think last week we launched X402 Scan V2, which gives you access to X402 V2, the protocol, because there was a protocol upgrade.
Yep.
So we added that. We also made the site a lot faster. So as you can see, this is quite responsive now. This took a lot of engineering cycles, but I think it's pretty good now.
Yeah, that's very, very snappy.
It is. Yeah, it took a lot of work to make it that way. But yeah, maybe interesting story about X402 Scan. When we launched, maybe a history about X402.
Yeah.
So the Coinbase guys, they finalized X402 around a year ago, maybe around a year ago. And when we started looking at X402 stuff, because we're fundamentally like a payment company, we're a payment startup. So we started looking into X402 because we found it interesting. I think in total you had like 50,000 transactions, and I would say half of them were like Coinbase in-tech test, maybe even more. And this was like 5 months ago or 4 months ago. So we decided, okay, there is not much here, but let's build some analytics tools because we wanted actually to analyze what's happening on chain in x402. So we built x402 Scan. Actually, one guy on our team built it and launched it. And 3 days after that, someone had the brilliant idea to launch an x402 meme coin. and the rest is history, I guess. Like it went vertical from there. It went from 50K transactions to like 3 million transactions in a couple of days, just because people were farming meme coins. And it took our site down for a while. It took the Coinbase SQL API down for a while, which we used in the background, because a lot of it was just not very optimized. So it's amazing to see this now. Like if you look at all time, 158 million transactions now. When we launched this, we were at 50K transactions, and this was like 5 months ago. So very, very interesting. I think x402 is super powerful. Where it's the most powerful, though, I think is for the agents. Because you as a client, the idea of going to like the New York Times and doing like a micropayment to access an article there is very cool and an idea that I love, because you don't have ads anymore and all that kind of stuff. But just, we're not there yet. The New York Times is not going to implement x402, and the wallet support kind of, isn't that great. Like I don't want to open up my MetaMask wallet every time I want to access a New York Times article or watch a YouTube video or stuff like that. What's cool though in V2, they introduced subscriptions, so you can actually build around that a little bit. But still a huge lift. Like I need to talk to New York Times guys to integrate that into their website. It's not going to happen. I don't have that kind of network. But what's very, very cool is it's for agents. Like it's perfect for agents, right? Mm-hmm. Just give agents a wallet. Stable coins are perfect for that. Crypto is perfect for that. Just give them a private key. Let them spend money. And we abstract away the APIs that we want behind x402 ourselves. So we could theoretically put the New York Times behind x402 if we really wanted to. But so that's what I'm really excited about. Like this, I don't know if you ever heard the term agentic commerce. Agentic commerce is the idea. It's basically Amazon for agents, right? Let agents buy not only digital goods, but let them also buy physical goods on the internet. And x402 uniquely enables that.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, no, that all resonates and makes sense. And I think it's what you said is perfectly makes sense. So I'm curious, I haven't really looked into those subscriptions, but if you want to do a subscription over x402 with V2, do you have to like lock up like the duration of the funds in an escrow account or something, or like how does that work?
Yeah, it's a good question. Basically, the mental model is, let's say you go to New York Times and you pay $5 for their monthly subscription. The New York Times has a SQL database where their store wallet address has access for the next 30 days. So every time I want to access an article, I just sign something that proves that I own that private key. And they look it up inside their database. Hey, that address has access, and this is how subscriptions work.
Gotcha.
Yeah, this is x402 V2. Actually, a good question would be what's next for x402? Are people built x402 V3 maybe? I don't know. I haven't looked at anything. So V2 is super recent. I think V2 was finalized like a month ago. What's also very cool about V2 is it now has this extension protocol. So you can, in a flexible way, build extensions on top of this, which is quite interesting. I actually don't know of any super interesting V2 extensions. I think what I've looked up recently was someone who put webhooks behind x402. And I think he used V2 extensions for that, but I'm not totally sure. But it's very cool, and I know a lot of people are building interesting stuff, but I don't think anyone has launched it yet.
Yeah, awesome. Well, that's really cool. Yeah, you guys are building some cool stuff, and yeah, thanks for giving such a really good demo. Are you, if people want to get involved with x402 Scan, obviously, like it's a great tool for going and like exploring the data. If people want to get involved with anything related to Merritt Systems in terms of x402, like what should they do?
Yeah, x402 Scan is completely open source. The whole stack is open source, like the indexer, the database, everything is open source. So if you want to contribute, please no slop though. Please no, please no slop PRs. There is no token, no PRs for tokens. Don't form airdrops. Don't form airdrops through pull request, please. If you actually want to contribute, yeah, please do that. It's all open source. If you open up pull request or something, you can text me Shafu0x on Twitter or on Telegram. Merritt Systems, also the corporate account, is pretty active. We have a support channel on Telegram, which I can link to. But yeah, the best way to help build this is contribute to the GitHub.
Very cool. And how about the MCP server? Is it open source or is it currently closed source at the moment?
The MCP stuff, let me see, Rich. It's currently closed source, but okay. Maybe we're gonna open source it at some point.
Yeah, of course.
But all the, like, for example, what you have in here is packages, is external. So the actual MCP server lives in here as open source. Just like call it, like the APIs itself is in a repo that is an open source for some obvious reasons. But yeah, the rest is.
Now, I do see a repo x402-MCP. Is that the repo? Or
that's an old one. That's an old one. I think the last comment on that was like a week ago or something.
Okay, good. Okay, just want to make sure people know that so they're not like, oh my god. So if they want to, so if they go to x402scan.com/MCP, that will take them to the MCP that you demoed. And then where should people go to get more information? Maybe to follow you. Are you on social, or do you have anywhere you'd like people to follow you?
Yes, and thank you for sharing. Forget the GitHub. Go to this website. Thanks for sorting that out. Go to x402scan/MCP. That's the call to action here. Forget the GitHub stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm Shafu0x on Twitter and on Telegram. Feel free to DM me if you have something interesting to say.
Awesome, cool. Yeah, you're very active in this x402 community, and obviously, like Merritt Systems is building some really cool stuff. So I'm definitely excited to see where this goes. And yeah, we'll have to chat when you're ready to try out the ampersand stuff, and maybe we can be design partners on some stuff too, because sounds like there's a really good use case there. Cool. Well, I appreciate you coming on and giving such a great demo, and I hope that was valuable to everyone that tuned in. Is there anything else you wanted to cover, Shafu?
No, just this was fun, and thanks for having me, Kevin.
Yeah, no problem. Welcome to bring you on anytime. Yeah, anyone interested in coming on the show, please send a DM to Edge and Node X account or myself, CryptoMastery_. We'd love to highlight what's cool in the x402 industry. But yes, thank you so much, Shafu, and everyone that's listening. Thanks for tuning in, and be sure to tune in on Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific we will be doing another live stream. So thank you so much, and catch you guys next time.